Yes, I have pushed the button.
And in general, it's a successful day when Greg can push the button.
Yay! Yay!
That's how things work around here. We are now ready to end the podcast.
We end the podcast? Okay.
Right. Welcome to Funny Book Forensics, and we're about to sign off now because Greg successfly pressed a button.
I did. Yeah, it's good job.
Do you have anything to plug here?
No, I've already plugged everything earlier while we were podcasting before I pressed the button. So I think I'm good. Maybe next time.
Well, of course, I need to plug that we're on project-nerd.com.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, we're on their network because of these high-quality podcasts that we provide. So, as we're about to get out of here, probably should plug that.
Yeah, we should probably plug that and let people know that they can find us and other high-quality podcasts on Project-Nerd.
Or they could just go to our YouTube page.
They could.
Funny Book Forensics and, find them. Or they could just follow our feed that we release on all our posts on Facebook and Instagram and X.
Oh, yeah. And download this podcast, because if you too like podcasts with horrible fan noises in the background, just like Dan does, then you can get a podcast made by us.
Yeah, but before we go, maybe we should talk about a little bit more about the book. I mean,
we barely even scratched the surface on the book. We barely even. I know we talked about it. People might not have been paying attention. We skipped over it. We did like that real big long stretch, and then we talked about other things.
Well, I should circle back to it.
Yes.
We should start with the cover because it's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. It is It is actually super awesome. Like I have to admit, there's a lot going on. It's got all these covers building up to this cover. It has been pretty awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff with the... Well,
all idiocy aside from me, welcome to Funny Book Forensics, and we are covering Legion of Superheroes number 293.
293? That's a lot.
It is the second to last installment of the Great Darkness saga. And we've got a bunch of dark outlined folks flying.
Yeah.
And they're all breaking the Legion of Superheroes logo.
Yeah.
And the entire Legion is trying to hold the logo, but not the entire Legion, but we've got Starboy and Wildfire and Superboy and Ultra Boy and Brainiac 5 is in the background and Phantom Girl, because Phantom Girl. We also get a note on the cover there's an extra free 16-page comic preview of Masters of the Universe, which we are not going to cover, much to Greg's sadness.
Yeah, I know. Much to my sadness, it is not available.
But I'll make it available to you sometime. We'll run across it again.
All right.
And Keith Giffen did the cover here.
Whoa.
This one was all Keith Giffen.
You can tell.
Which is really cool.
You can tell.
And he inked himself on this one. And I am just excited because I actually have the print of the cover that doesn't have that green Masters of the Universe thing in the corner, because obviously, here's one thing I don't like about the cover. Yeah. Well, the barcode's fine because that's just, but I have the one without the barcode too. The barcode's fine because that's on every comic cover. This cover is so amazing. I'm actually really irritated that the Master of the Universe thing is down there.
You're that irritated?
Well, it takes away from one of the better covers I've ever seen in all of comics, right? I mean, this is
it is pretty cool.
I've seen speculation too, how many times is this? You can't definitively say something's the first because there's so much research I'd have to do, but this is one of the first times. Todd Klein, I've seen mention this right before the letterer. Mm-hmm. And we've mentioned Todd's Facebook page before. If you ever want some amazingness, go to Todd Klein's Facebook page, and he just has the logos for all these comics and explains the history of them and who did them and where they came from. It's fantastic. In fact, he has a book out and I have it on order. And when I get that book, we'll go ahead and reference it too.
Cool.
It doesn't come out for a couple months. But anyway, This is one of the first times where the logo was incorporated as part of the art, right? Like it becomes the page, right? And it's just
like every aspect of what's on the cover is a portion of it. The comics code, the price, the date stamp. It's all in it.
And it's just the art for the page, and I can't stress how amazing it is. Also, just the Kirby crackle everywhere, the purples and the dark blues, indicating that evil is coming after them. Right, we got rid of the primary colors, and I love the inclusion of Superboy in this cover. Because the rest of them are sort of trying to fend things off, and it's like Superboy is like that last bastion, just kind of trying to hold up the Legion.
Right, yeah. And he's struggling, man. He's struggling.
It's not looking good.
No, it's a very dark and forebrooding. Like it's definitely a moment right here.
And if you didn't pick up the last two, or the last three issues, because the covers were, of course, I do like I know we were making fun of the baby cover, but the last cover too has the pinks and purples in the background to indicate evil. But if you didn't pick this one up, and you saw this cover, you're picking this cover up.
Oh yeah.
And then you're going to go back and try as a kid, try to get the other issues, right? Because I don't know how you walk by this cover on the stand and not grab it.
You'd pass up the baby cover for sure. Like you're like, oh cool, baby cover, whatever. But this cover, yeah, it's a grabber. It's a whoa, what's going on? I gotta check this book out.
And the next cover is also like one you would not pass up. So
double
we'll get there.
Back grabbers.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get into this book. So as you'll recall, last issue it wasn't going well, but then they found the White Witch, right? And they ended up surviving the Sorcerer's World. And I did make a mistake. I said that, remember when Ultra Boy and Mon-El and Shadow Lass and Phantom Girl got wiped out?
Uh-huh.
And I said they were on the Sorcerer's World, but they were not. They were on Daxa.
Oh, there was a little...
Or that dark planet, whatever.
Okay.
Like they were somewhere else.
They were elsewhere.
So they were not. Yeah.
I see.
So that's why they didn't. But they weren't, or were they? Because there's Ultra Boy right there. So now I'm down. Now
you're confused. You're like, I don't know what's going on. What's going on?
Well, maybe they crash land again. I could be getting. I mean, but Mon-El was taken out, right?
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
He was in bad shape.
He had a rough go at it. I'm surprised he's up. Yeah, he's not up.
Anyway, we are here. We go, and we get an announcement from one of the Legion shuttles. The Legion. I feel like Haranth.
Yeah, he made a lot of money on this incident.
On this adventure, yeah. He's like, count it up, buy 3 ships, get 4 free. But he said, we get an announcement. All right, Legionnaires, we've taken the worst the servants of darkness can throw at us and remain standing. Now let's take the battle to them.
Yeah. Let's bring it.
This seems like a good idea.
Okay, you got to remember there a lot of the Legionnaires, as I've been reading, you know, they're generally teenagers. Full frontal lobe cortex is it hasn't fully formed yet. They still have 2 or 3 more years before they can fully make better informed decisions. They're thinking.
Yeah, even in their early 20s, right? Even in their early 20s.
They're thinking. They're not thinking at their highest capabilities and functions, right? They're active with their emotioning. They're feeling with their emotions. They're just going, oh, this bad thing happened. We're gonna do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's mess it up. You know.
Well, I thought that's why we put Dream Girl in charge, because her visions of the future always are true, and she's a scientist. So
you would think.
I mean, clearly the dogs are very unhappy with this decision.
They are so they can feel. Dogs are so keyed in to bad choices, much like when my aunt made a bad choice a long time ago with just bad choices, and
I have no idea where this is going right now.
And we it just life went off the rails for a while. I can't explain it. Just the dogs knew. The dogs knew.
Okay. Thanks for the enlightening and very specific story that you just shared.
I'm just joking.
And as we get back, we find out that Mon-El is still comatose. So apparently I've got some, I guess they did find them on the Sorcerer's World. So I've got my ships crashing and Mon-El's getting beat up, confused.
You got to get your ships together, Dan.
And
straighten out your ships.
Well, the important thing is our leader, Dream Girl, is taken over as the medical provider for Mon-El, and she's like, his body's in some sort of strange state of shock.
Yeah.
And then we get some of my favorite things. We get more Light Lass complaining.
Can't you do something?
Yeah. Can't you do something with your magic? Can't you do something? Can't you do something? But we do use this to once again explain that White Witch is Druid class.
Oh, yeah.
So she says, magic isn't unlimited, especially not mine. Each of my spells is highly specific, and besides, I can only prepare a handful at a time.
She needs a long rest.
I wasn't expecting, she needs a long rest to get them back. I wasn't expecting anything like this when I went to meet my sister yesterday. So basically, she'd prepared like a fireworks spell and some good berries and was ready to go, but she definitely wasn't she tried to shove a good berry down Mon-El's throat to give him some hit points back, like we all do as good druids, but it didn't work. And but no, I do like this little bit of a transition too, and we do get a little recap from Dream Girl of the last issue. So if you picked up this amazing cover, you get to find out what happened and hopefully pique the person's interest to go back and find that last issue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now we get a lot of explanation on the next page,
which I like.
And yeah, White Witch is recounting that she's only met most of the Legionnaires once or twice, so you're never really gotten any idea how restricted my powers are. Nura that's her sister, Dream Girl, may have given me the nickname the White Witch, but I'm really not too much more than an apprentice. Oh, so she's just like level 2.
Yeah, everybody's thinking she's everybody. Listen up, Tanza 2 is talking.
Yeah.
Ah!
And then yep. And we're in real trouble.
Yeah, because that is actually kind of funny because, it's the total reverse. It's not listen up to, it's a Tenza talking. She's just a 2.
Yep. So, she's learning, but she's a young, and earlier in her life, she was turned into some sort of hag, so she got that back too, so that probably stunted her level progression at a point.
Okay. You would think that you would have thought that she would have leveled up more. She would have gotten more. She would have leveled at least 2 more levels because of the situation that she was in. That that's just bad DMing.
Don't worry. She's gonna get some levels on this adventure. Okay. You never fear.
I say bad DMing. I'm just man, that's harsh DMing. Hey.
Well, we get Shadowlass in the background. Yeah, we get Shadowlass in the background. Well, she may roll. I think she rolls pretty good in this adventure, actually. Okay. But we get Shadowlass in the background. She says, "I'm sure they're trying to figure out what's going on," and the Shadowlass is back, saying how creepy the servants are and that their blast worked on Mon-El. Then they get back onto the weird planetoid, right? Uh-huh. The dark planetoid. Yeah. That they're going to find the servants that attacked them before. And this is why I got confused, because immediately they take out Shadowlass, Ultra Boy, and Phantom Girl again.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Now, they are the ones with the bad rolls here. I don't think it's the White Witch. They've clearly been, Mon-El rolled 4 1s in a row, and then these guys have rolled a 1 on, they rolled, they just rolled, a 1 for initiative.
Well, yeah, their initiative is low, to begin with. And then they pop onto this, and they're like, should we check? Nah, we're good. We don't need to check for
all
nothing.
All the servants of darkness got a surprise attack, right? Like, yeah.
And it's like, oh, wait a minute.
And again, folks, just so you know, we are recording this in the morning. Little inside podcast baseball. So I did not bring a drink with me to this one, and we've already had another kabloom. Now, when we record the episode for 294, we are going to have to record it at a time where Greg and I both can have an alcoholic beverage with us. Okay. Because, we may have to take a sip every time there's... we're going to be in real trouble, but it will be... Yeah.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should do... I mean, as we're,
What if we took Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Why don't we get crazy, Dan? All the kids are doing it now because they're just discovering it, and we can have listeners tell us if they think we should do this or not. Why don't we get on the Mad Dog train and get Mogan David? That's right, Mad Dog. MD 2020.
No, I'm not drinking that.
I'm not doing that.
There's zero circumstances where I will drink anything with the words mad and dog in them, and then or Boone's Farm or any these things are not happening.
I'm a respectable adult now, Greg. I don't need to do that.
Yeah, I will be having something with a fine whiskey or bourbon in it.
We could dye your hair with
Kool-Aid. We've done that.
Oh, but you don't have any hair anymore.
Yeah, that's cute. So,
screw you, Greg. Get out of here.
Well, anyway, I was gonna say we would have to take a drink every time there was Kirby Crackle in a panel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's
which we would be drunk after the first 2 pages. Yeah,
it would be over.
Well, we do get the other group still flying in space.
Kirby Crackle.
And Superboy is like, I'm creeped out because I fought this clone of myself.
Right.
Little does he know, Superboy in the future will just be, after John Byrne destroyed Superboy, because he's a terrible, horrible person, clearly. Yeah. Mr. Byrne, I still would probably want your autograph and stuff, so let me just tell you, I probably don't think you're a terrible, horrible person, but you destroyed the Legion of Superheroes, and I don't appreciate that.
Dan, it made Dan very upset.
By taking away Superboy. Yeah. Well, Superboy, right? Superboy, of course, is Clark Kent when he is a boy.
Yes.
Or he's a clone, or he's Superman and Lois's son, John.
Yeah.
Who is now Superman because they have aged him. And well, anyway, so this, but he's glad he came back because he didn't want to miss the anniversary party, but he's back to help them out. So
he's back.
That was nice of him. He jumped back in time. Remember, he jumped back in time and they were all angsty about, Saturn Girl was all upset about how they died because she didn't want to lose Lightning Lad. And now he's back. So Superboy has popped back in. And then we've got the folks holding down the fort at headquarters. We've got the founders, Saturn Girl, Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad. And of course, we've got the ever useful Bouncy Boy and Duo Damsel.
Hey, they're there. They have jobs and purpose. All hands on deck, man. They're fighting some big bads.
Well, the cool thing here, though, I do think, because even though Dream Girl is the leader in this case and she's out in the field, we've got the folks at headquarters that are actually figuring out the problem and relaying it back.
Yeah.
Right. So I do like how they reframed the founders and even brought Lightning Lad out of that crappy plot line. Right. Though he's not very useful here. It's like Saturn Girl's like thinking about it. Cosmic Boy is sort of strategizing it, and Lightning Lad's like, I don't know what's going on, guys.
We'll see. I don't know.
But they did call everybody back last time.
Yeah, it is nice.
But Cosmic Boy does say, true, whoever the master is, he KO'd Mon-El, who's our strongest member. How are we supposed to stop him? So everybody else in the other panels was like, we'll go take the fight to them. And he's like,
we might want to put a pin in that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best idea.
That might hurt us a little, give us a little ouchie.
Yeah. Well, here we go. And we're back to Takron Galtos.
Yeah.
And Chameleon Boy is there.
And he is.
And there's some folks trying to beat him up.
Is it actual folks or is it himself? Or
I don't know.
Are they?
I feel like it's actual folks.
Is it other Chameleon Boys?
Yeah, well, there are other Durlins, you know.
Okay,
he's not the only one in the entire world.
Oh, okay. It's other Durlins. He's fighting other Durlans.
And by the way, if you look at the top of the screen, you can see who's on each of the ships and where they're going.
Oh, nice. Oh.
Based on the symbols.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That you've been learning.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that not awesome?
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, I like it.
And then elsewhere, we've got Chameleon Boy, and of course he's locked on that planet, and he's locked in the prison planet because he got arrested for treason. You know, like no big deal. I mean, it turns out like if you lead some sort of insurrection without authorization, you end up going to jail in the future.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You do a bad thing. You pay the price.
Yeah, it's amazing. But anyway, RJ Brand shows up to help his son, and Chameleon Boy breaks down and starts crying and hugs his dad finally. So I guess he got his dad's attention. Good job. He only wrecked a couple of cruisers and tried to lead an insurrection into Kundia, and
Yeah.
But now he's got his dad's love. I mean,
his dad wanted to love him before. He just didn't want to see it.
Yeah,
Their relationship is tough.
He should have known all you need to do is take a Corvette and drive it out the back end of a garage off a cliff, and then you get your dad's love.
Oh yeah, that's all you need to do.
Yeah. But and you do all that after being in a parade and singing songs.
Yeah, going to a Cubs game. Let's see what else. Falling in the pool.
I mean, it seems a little like, I mean, he seems to have gone through a lot. Like, he could have just done those things.
Yeah, he could have just done, but does he have a best friend he could do it with?
Well, he has all sorts of best friends. He has,
are they?
Colossal Boy, Colossal Boy is his best friend, and Colossal Boy is out, boom, chicka, bomb, bomb.
Yeah, Colossal Boy found a new best friend. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I thought he kind of likes Drinking Violet.
Colossal Boy?
No.
Well, yeah.
No.
Oh. Chameleon Boy?
Yeah, no?
Nah.
Okay, when I thought there was a moment where he walked around the corner and saw them and he was like,
No, he was upset just because he wanted to talk to them and then they were making out. It had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, okay.
That was when they were on the asteroid, yeah. Well, anyway, now we get, and we flip the page and we get Daxam.
Whoa!
A red sun world. A red sun world noted for its high technology, particularly in bioengineering. Daxam experimented early with space travel, but has largely abandoned it in recent centuries. Encyclopedia Galactica. And then it says, those who come here usually come in search of the gentle arts of healing practiced here so well. The latest visitor to Daxam, and of course, for those of you, they probably should have referenced why they don't do space travel, but they referenced it before, but Daxamites are allergic to lead. And so there are not too many worlds they can go to where
there's no
that's
lead.
Why they abandon space travel, because they die of lead poisoning. So, yeah. Though they do get superpowers under Yellow Sun, just like the Kryptonians. And, of course, Mon-El has a anti-lead serum that he gets to take. Now, we haven't given that to the rest of Daxam because, well, that... It can't be mass produced, apparently.
It's very expensive. It's like I would say it's like most big pharma when it comes to something that would make life easier. They put a high price on it. Say sorry, folks.
Yep,
that's what it is.
Well, anyway, we said it, then it captions the latest visitor to Daxam, however, is something of an exception to that rule.
Is it Tom Green?
If he can be if he can be said that Tom Green is not the villain. Tom Green and Steve-O are both not the villains in this story. If he can be said to have come in pursuit of anything, it's clearly not life but death. And the master appears through one of those
Pinocchio.
warp things. Yeah. And says, yes, so this is the world of Daxam. A pity it has taken me so long to learn of his existence. But knowledge once possessed is the most sure source of power. It seems I've caused a bit of a disturbance. Could it be that I frighten these poor souls? And then Banshee is looking up at him.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Full 70s Banshee with extra mutton chops.
Extra.
And, yeah. And then the master says how very perceptive they were.
How
I feel like something bad is. I feel like something bad is about to happen.
Yeah, he hit him with the past tense phrasing.
Yeah, that's always good. Past tense is always good. Well, now the bad guy, the master, is on Daxam, and we go elsewhere. And we get a ship with Karate Kid and Projectra.
Yeah, and Karate Kid is playing a cool video game with this.
Yeah, Karate Kid is practicing his powers by playing Space Invaders.
I love it.
I feel like they would have advanced past Space Invaders by this time.
You know, he's a real, like, that's it's the height of technology at the time. I mean, we're still playing Space Invaders and Pac-Mans and the Dig Dugs and all that stuff because they're good.
Well,
clean, fun.
And of course, Projector is like, our Legion careers have a meaning to them that I somehow can no longer feel. And Karate Kid's just like, yeah, I want to go fight stuff.
Yeah.
And then we also get Flash. We're bringing back Colossal Boy and Shrinking Violet from their vacation. And Shrinking Violet's all, I don't know what we're supposed to do with our meager powers. And Colossal Boy's like, we're going to do like any Legionnaire. We're going to help. But didn't Shrinking Violet like take out one of the servants?
Right.
Like she's the only person that's actually just straight up taken out one of the servants.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. She caused the stroke in Lydia Maller, right? In the Shadowlass servant, the Shadowlass ancestor. Yeah, she's the only one that has taken one of them out. And she's like, I don't know what. Yeah, I really didn't like these lines because she's literally the only person that has done that. So I was like,
with our powers, what are we supposed to do? Well, she feels like maybe they could kill somebody, and they don't want to kill somebody because killing is bad. Killer's bad.
Yeah, but these, I think they've discovered the servants aren't really, I mean, they're alive, but they're not really like...
It doesn't matter if they're clones or not, dude. They're real. They're real to themselves.
Well,
come on.
Okay.
Dan.
No, you're probably right.
If they feel alive and look alive, if it acts like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it is a duck.
I mean, they don't seem very alive. They, like, go in and then cackle back to the master. Like, it's weird.
I mean, the bigger question is, do you have any grapes?
No. Are you wanting me to put in grapes in my chicken salad, like from the... Because that's what I had for lunch, and I, just like they say in that famous Black Jeopardy sketch, I don't put grapes in my chicken salad, or and I do put paprika, so...
No, I was referring to the duck comment, and the duck asked for grapes, the lemonade stand. But...
It just sucks that the Black Panther is no longer alive, so it makes me sad when I think about that sketch. But anyway, let's not be sad.
Yeah,
let's go back to this. So there's plenty to be sad about in this comic. So we go back to the ship and see again. I love this because they're really Giffen's art, right? That's why I say Giffen, not the cleanest, best artist, but one of the best storytellers, right?
Yeah.
And he starts to incorporate things in here to really drive the stories, right? So now he's trying to drive these symbols, right? And you go back in, and it's like, okay, there's the ship. I don't have to... And they do it twice, right? So they reinforce it with the lettering, but he's got the Dream Girl symbol, the Dawn Star symbol, right? The block symbol. Yeah. What do we got there? Light Last, Mon-El, and Sunboy. Yeah, so we got all... I didn't do it in order, sorry. Dream Girl, Dawn Star, Block, Sunboy, A Light Lass, and Mon-El, right? And then it tells you what the team is, right? So you can see. And Invisible Kid is like freaked out, as I think they all should be.
Yeah.
But they're over the baby again, who's now grown.
The baby's
I feel like... Yeah, I mean, didn't we see this terrible episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation?
When the baby grows and gets bigger and bigger.
And the baby is born in one day, and then Deanna has the it's called The Child, by the way, if you want to look it up. Yeah. That was a good 7 years after this.
Yeah.
By the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just as a side note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Trek: Next Generation.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Almost the same. Anyway, very similar storyline.
Similar storyline. I wonder where they got the idea.
Not the idea. But yeah, I'm sure science fiction writers didn't read future
Comic
superhero
books
stories.
and nothing nothing is ever derivative or drives someone's imagination to be creative.
But anyway, as Block and Invisible Kid and the White Witch talk about what's going on, they look away and the kid has grown more.
Oh my god.
And basically it's Block that distracts them too, because, you know,
He's like
Mr. Oblivious.
He's like, do farts have lumps? And they're like, what?
Yeah. Do you like Block with just the shorts on and the big rocky body better than than when they try to draw a uniform for him?
Yeah, kind of, because he looks like, I mean, the uniform for him, like having him in a uniform feels like, oh man, I'm forcing clothes on this, on the rock body, and like, you know, on the black rock body, and then you put shorts on him and it just seems more natural, doesn't it? It's like, I don't know, to me it does. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I like it better.
You like it better? Okay.
I also think the outfit they tried to give him looked too much like the villain in the story. So
okay. Yeah.
It's probably good to get it off of him there.
We don't want confusion, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, friendly fire. It's like, hey, why are you guys shooting me?
And then we get Dream Girl checking in on Element Lad, so we have to have our petty teenage moment, right, in the story.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a meeting in this story, so
I haven't seen a meeting in 2 issues, dude.
No, there was a meeting last issue.
No, there
was a meeting last issue.
Was there?
There was a meeting last issue.
There wasn't a meeting in the issue before then.
But in this issue, I think this counts for the meeting.
Okay.
Because, like, all Dream Girl does is just check in on him.
Yeah.
And Element Lad is all like, I lost the election and it's not fair and it's just stupid and I hate politics. And then he's like, then they're talking and Dream Girl's like, I'm glad you came in second. You'll make a great deputy leader. She's trying to be, like, nice. And he's like, hey, lady, forget it. I'm not going to be the deputy leader anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, that felt good. I'm like, okay, I think that counts as our meeting for the...
Yeah, fair.
And our teenage politics. So, Element Lad is no longer going to be the vice president of the drama club unless he can win, be president.
He is the drama. When the drama knocks. Yeah. Wait, he is the drama.
Well, now we go back to Daxam, and, oh, God, okay, this looks bad. So we have this guy standing there, and he says, the master's back, he says, slaves, 3 billion willing slaves. Are you not willing, my newfound children? And they all say, yes, in unison.
Yes.
And then he goes on a monologue for several panels. And he says, watch my children, the omega of your existence. Watch as I have taken your world and hold it in my mind for an instant. And he switches Daxam with his planet. And now Daxam is under a yellow sun.
Oh, watch out.
This guy is powerful enough to warp 2 planets.
Man, it's going to get dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like... And he said, and let you bathe in the rays of the yellow star that grant you the power I desire.
Oof.
So apparently now the master has 3 billion people with the powers of Superman.
Oh boy. It's about to get real.
Well, let's pause here for a second, right? This is actually a serious question. Do you think they've written themselves into a corner with this page?
What, 3 billion Supermen?
Yeah.
And having like one Superboy and a broken Mono.
Yeah. I mean, if I was going to criticize the story, in my mind, right? Like, so I've been praising. If I was going to criticize the story, and this would be the point where I would criticize it, right? I'm like, this is where it's hard for me to believe that like the 3 billion Daxamites wouldn't just like destroy the entire galaxy.
Unless they're brainwashed to only they're under some kind of mind control to only follow the leader's orders.
Well, yeah, but well, I guess we don't quite know his intentions yet, but they don't seem to be good.
Right. True.
Okay, well, let's leave it at that. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. And you're reading it. You're reading it for the first time.
I could see, like, if they don't have the ability to free will, they're going to follow whatever they're told. If they have the ability to free will, then, and if they decide and desire to destroy stuff, they're going to.
Well, they're pacifists for now, right?
Yeah.
So we know that. But, okay. Well, anyway, between the worlds, now we get Dawnstar's like, you of all people should believe me when I say I shall find the master, because she's using her tracking powers, which never fail.
Never fail. She can find him.
And they go to Daxam, where she thinks he's supposed to be, right?
Right.
Because they did work. They actually were working.
Yeah.
And all they see is they see that somebody trashed the entire planet.
It is messed up.
Because they think it's supposed to be Daxam, but it's actually the Master's planet, because he switched places, right? Yeah. And a big pillar comes up and destroys the ship, because it's just like before when they tried to fly down to that other planet. And then one of the servants reaches out. Yeah, they rolled 1 on initiative again. And one of the servants grabs Dawnstar and pulls her back. And, of course, Wildfire freaks out because Dawnstar got grabbed, because he's a little bit of a chauvinist.
And he's responsible.
Just like David Hasselhoff.
Yeah. He's like, oh, no. CJ, no.
Yeah.
I gotta save you.
And the servants, the servant flying on the thing calls his brother out to go take. So now we got brothers here.
Oh, brother.
Element Lad takes one out, he thinks.
Yeah.
With his newfound confidence after declaring the fact that he, in fact, was not going to listen to Dream Girl. And the big sphere breaks and knocks out Starboy. Starboy seems to get hit on a lot of these things. And I think, honestly, too, if you're writing Starboy, he's kind of maybe not the brightest bulb for a couple of reasons. But also, like, you've got to take him out because his powers he's OP'd, right? Like, the gravity powers are OP'd. So, like, why wouldn't he just take all the servants and just, like, make them super dense?
Boom, yeah, fly him off. Or weigh him down.
Well, not fly him off. Weigh him down. And anyway, Brainy's trying to use his force field on them again, even though it didn't work last time. And then this time, that Guardian one, we found out, the Guardian clone, he tries to fight Wildfire, and Wildfire's just like, unleashes all of his bright yellow anti-energy on him. That didn't go well.
Yeah.
With a Walthoom.
Yeah, Walthoom. Uh-oh.
And then here comes the Superman one.
Uh-oh.
And here comes Superboy.
Oh, snap. Zoom right in.
But then we get a flashback, and he is pissed. And Superboy's like, it did, Brainy. The microcircuitry you dreamed up to give me powers even under a red sun is working like a dream.
Nice.
Only it'll be a nightmare for that creep. It's kind of interesting, though. Why is the Kryptonian clone's powers work under a red sun? That doesn't make sense.
That's a good question. Don't know.
I mean, the dogs are even angry about it. They're like, so that's inconsistent in the story.
They're like, why?
I don't like that.
Damn it.
Well, now we get to Daxam, and now I'm gonna have to read some monologue because we're gonna find out. Now we get to find out what he wants to do with all the Daxamites. So he says, "Yes, that is correct. Shade of a star for you, my slaves. Do you not think so? Does it not inspire your newfound powers? Do you not wish to pay proper homage to your master?" And they're all yelling, "Yes, yes, yes." "Then rise, fly, one with the powers I have enabled you to have, into space with you into the night, dark cold, whose chill I love so well. We shall conquer this universe, my unthinking ones, you and I, and then I shall rule as is my destiny." So I guess I was right. This doesn't look, and all these Daxamites fly off the planet together. Yeah, this doesn't look good.
No, not at all. It's pretty rough, like rough looking.
And then he says, "First use the burning gaze I have given you, I have unleashed. Use it on your own world. Let your cities burn, let your machines explode, reduce millennia of civilization to ashes with the glance of 6 billion eyes. Now go into it, my little ones, into the inferno. feel its heat melting your very world, and shape it with the strength and speed I have made yours go. And when you are finished, let the universe know that I am truly reborn.
Whoa!
Okay. So, this all looks bad. And we get to the next page, and it looks a little bit better because Superboy is getting the crap beat out of him by a clone of his grown-up self. And
it
as the clone... It doesn't look super, but finally... It looks
hilarious.
Finally, they encase Superboy in lead.
Oh.
And they use a classic. Element Lad creates some gold kryptonite. Okay, so
Sweet.
Do you know what gold kryptonite does?
No.
Okay, so what does green kryptonite do? Let's do a kryptonite test.
It makes him weak.
Okay. And should kill him, right? Like, it poison him? Yeah, that's right. What does red kryptonite do?
It's like a bad drug.
It's like a bad drug?
Yeah. It's like...
Are you basing this on the movie or on comics?
Like, I'm basing it... Well, like, I'm basing it on both. Like, it's like a... It's like Superman or Superboy would be on drugs.
Okay, well, it usually gives, in the comics, it usually gives Superman an unknown power or power change. Okay, how about orange kryptonite?
I don't know. Orange kryptonite.
It gave Kryptonian cats superpowers.
Oh, okay.
How about white kryptonite?
Give dogs superpowers?
No.
Oh, okay, I was just guessing.
It destroys all Kryptonian plant life and microorganisms.
Oh, no.
Yeah. How about black kryptonite?
I don't know.
It can affect both Kryptonians and humans.
Oh, okay.
How about blue kryptonite?
It's slightly worse than green kryptonite.
No, blue kryptonite actually heals.
Oh, it's healing.
Unless you're Bizarro.
And then it'll make you sick.
And then it acts like green kryptonite.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. How about, of course, the most controversial... We haven't got to gold kryptonite. How about the most controversial form of kryptonite, pink kryptonite?
Is that the drug one?
That is the one that in one issue... It was speculated on for years what pink kryptonite might do, and in one issue of Supergirl, I believe written by Dan Jurgens, Clark Kent finally found he was very interested in Jimmy Olsen.
Oh.
When exposed to pink kryptonite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. So it brought out different feelings.
Sexual tendencies, yes.
Yeah.
And then gold kryptonite, you get to see what it does right here, but you want to guess what gold kryptonite does?
It's a murderer. I mean,
yeah, well, gold kryptonite permanently takes away a Kryptonian's powers.
Takes it away. Makes you human.
Yeah. Now, why Element Lad, if he was going to be the great leader of the Legion of Superheroes, hadn't thought of this before now, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
You were also asking about taking out the servants, whether they are alive or not. So when the gold kryptonite happens, his little red emblem stops, right? Mm-hmm. And he loses his powers.
Yeah.
And Timberwolf hits him once, and he breaks into a bunch of rock pieces.
Oh. So he's not alive.
Yeah, so one of the other servants is very upset that they destroyed him, and he's like, "Fools, the master will make you pay." And Brainiac 5's like, "Move away from their space warp." So, so anyway. Okay, so Superboy's fine because they encased him in lead. And basically, Element Lad establishes why he's the most powerful Legionnaire again, but never actually uses his powers very effectively. But imagine if Element Lad had gone crazy and started using his... Well, anyway.
Yeah,
there might be a book about that someday.
It'd be wild.
There might be a book about that someday.
Oh, yeah?
So anyway, they note there's been no sign of Dawnstar since the battle started.
Oh, no.
And all of a sudden...
She appears.
Invisible Kid says, "I believe I saw her, Wildfire, hanging in a stasis, invisibly. Perhaps we don't know what my powers are yet," and he brings her back. So apparently his powers go beyond the original Invisible Kid's. Like, there's like some sort of weird invisible stasis area.
Huh. Stasis area. Wait, he just like kind of hangs out in? Like when he goes invisible, he just like bzzz, and then goes there?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to find out.
We're gonna find out.
He just got his
power.
He just got his powers. So
Invisible Kid, I'm disappointed that you don't know everything about everything right now.
I'm disappointed you don't know anything about the serum that Brainiac 5 had you drink in the middle of a fight.
To save your sister, and she's still sick, and now we just only know what we know. Curses on you.
Yeah.
Suck
Well,
ya,
Dawnstar says all she can remember about the place she went was that it was very, very cold and alone.
Well, that's not good.
And Wildfire walks away, as he would, down the beach after saving CJ, and says, "Hey, Dream Girl, write it up as a victory after all." And Brainiac 5 finally steps up as his 12th level intellect in the voice of reason. He says, "I believe we should not be so quick to celebrate Wildfire. Given that this is where Daxam should be, and this world appears to belong to the master of the servants, I infer," is he doing it in the right way? He's collecting evidence, so he's inferring? Okay. Yeah. Or does he deduce? I think he should deduce, probably. Well, anyway, that he has taken Daxam captive. Well, he's using all the evidence, right?
Yeah.
So is he deducing or is he inferring?
He I think he's going to infer that he's going to make a deuce.
Wow, you went from me talking about debate logic, which I thought you were going to pile on to making a number 2 joke. Okay, well, I infer that he has taken Daxam captive, and given his powers,
I mean,
it is reasonable.
He could technically say, like, I deduce that this is what it is.
Are we going back to that?
Well, yeah, why not? I mean,
we're going back to that. You're not going to let me finish reading the monologue now.
All right,
we're going
finish
back
reading
to
the monologue.
I mean, how are the outside of just reading the issue, like we would encourage the listeners to do?
Yeah.
How would they know what's going to happen unless I read this monologue that tells us everything that's happening?
That's true. They wouldn't.
Okay, so I infer that he has taken Daxam captive, and given his powers, it is reasonable to postulate that he transposed the two worlds, transferring Daxam to this dead planet's yellow sun system. 3 billion beings, each with the powers equal to Superboy. Further, I think by revealing this world to us with its distinctive characteristics and ruins, I believe he has chosen to reveal his identity.
No.
I am suddenly very cold, my friends, and quite scared.
Oh.
And then we flip the page. Most excellent, mindless ones, you have reshaped this world on which I stand perfectly as I bid, and it looks like it's a head, like the world has been shaped into like a head.
Yeah.
And now it is time you went on to greater deeds. Go on and conquer the universe for me. For the God in whose image you have carved your own world as a monument, go for your master. For Darkseid.
No. Darkseid. We finally get a name.
Next issue. The players are all in place. The clues are all in your hands. 3 billion superpowered slaves versus the Legionnaires.
Oh my.
Guest appearances by practically everybody who ever appeared in this mag.
Oh my god.
If Paul forgot them, Keith remembered them. Darkseid, the ultimate servant, and the child who may be the only way for the Legionnaires to survive.
Wow.
And sensational 41 page, are you ready? 41 page epic.
Jeez.
Conclusion to the saga of the Great Darkness.
It's like a double issue.
They said it backwards, too. It's not called the Great Darkness Saga here. It's the Saga of the Great Darkness.
Great Darkness
Saga. If you're not anxiously waiting for the next 30 days, see a doctor, you may have stopped breathing. I'm anxious. No. And it's cool because Keith also draws on all this research he does to draw a really cool poster that's hanging in my room later with all these characters from Legion's history appearing on it. So, yeah, I mean, it's also just neat. Paul Levitz was a huge Legion fan and had written it before. It's neat, too, that Keith went back and read and researched, too. And I love the fact, it doesn't always work when it's two fans of a franchise writing it, right?
Right.
Or maybe even one that became a fan, right? But this does.
It works. Yeah, no.
It's
they did a great
really
job.
good. Yeah. And Kenneth R. Holdren of 112 Roan Drive, Hampton, Virginia, agrees with us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he says, "Dear friends, you really surprised me. It actually appears you are getting better and better every issue." We agree. The cover was excellent because it does the job that I feel is to catch the casual reader's eyes and tempt him into buying a comic he normally wouldn't. This cover really did that. Plus, the cover actually depicts a scene from the story, which I prefer to symbolic covers. Then he gets into a bunch of stuff about the Defenders, which, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're not reading Defenders right now, so that's fine. But anyway, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, this story is crazy fast, right?
Yeah, no, it was like boom, 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 boom. And again, like, I think, like, after the first couple books in this run, they really just like, all right, here's where we're going, and at this point we don't have to let off the gas and let you build. We're just gonna stay on it because this is how we're gonna do. And every issue has just been a gas pedal down issue. This is definitely that. It is. Every time you think you're going to get a little bit of reprieve, oh, hey, they're going to go into a meeting or whatever, or there's going to be all this exposition moment. It's none of that. None of that. It is purely...
It's a lot of...
action.
It's a lot of dark side. So we have the Legion roll call continuing. I do want to draw your attention to one Legionary you haven't seen in the book.
All right.
Pharaoh Lad.
Oh, yes.
Born Andrew Nolan of Earth, a mutant with the power to change his body into nearly invulnerable isotope of iron, he had a non-human face which was hidden by a mask at all times.
Oh.
His Legion career was brief and ended when he sacrificed his life to destroy the Sun Eater. I don't know why I'd choose that one to read to you.
Okay. I don't know either.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I don't know. Dead teenagers. It's always fun.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people want dead teenagers all the time, so.
Huh. Pharaoh Lad, huh? Interesting.
But, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. Well, next issue, it's Darkseid.
Oh, boy.
A lot of Darkseid.
I had a feeling that
and a lot of Daxamites.
A lot of Daxamites, like 3 billion.
Well, you had a feeling. Did you have a feeling Darkseid was coming?
I had a feeling early on. There was a couple of tingly moments. Just there's some tells. I think
Yeah.
Color.
How about?
shifts.
Did you have a feeling he was going to enslave all of the planet Daxam?
I did not know. I did not think that was going to happen until I was like, oh, he just used the past tense, and now, yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah. So that's woof. Yeah. And the next cover,
Yeah.
is basically an homage to your favorite Japanese flag.
Okay. Awesome. Excellent. Can't wait.
I actually hadn't noticed it. If we hadn't done the X-Men books,
Yeah.
I would never have thought of it, actually.
I mean, it's interesting how in popular, the Rising Sun battle flag, or I guess the Imperial flag, it had worked its way into popular culture. Oh, hey, that's a really neat flag. But then again, like I've said before on other shows and had this conversation with other people, I mean, it's literally the same context of throwing up a Confederate flag.
Yeah, well, and it may not be. I mean, I don't know. You should look ahead and glance at the next cover, because it looks like a mashup version, right? Like with the Kirby crackle and.
I'll take a look.
But it seems inspired. But it could just be the red sun, right? That's on his planet too, right? Because they moved, so it may not be that at all.
If it's got the,
I don't know if it was intentional. If that makes sense.
If it's got the running lines that run, that.
It has
break
like
out.
running lines each direction that are more like Kirby crackle,
Okay.
so it's like.
It might just be, could just be a different thing. Who knows? I'll take a look at it. I'll give you my 2 cents later.
Yeah.
I'm glad we talked.
Okay.
I'm glad we instead of saying our goodbyes earlier on, I'm glad that you brought us back in and we actually talked more about the book with the folks, as opposed to just turning off the podcast like we were going to do earlier. This is much better. It worked out a lot better. Thank you, Dan.
Yep. That's yep. Yeah.
you're like, I mean, what? You're surprised that I was going to say, hey, because like, I was ready to punch out earlier, and you asked me if I had, any plugs and stuff, and I was like, no, I don't want to talk about Absolute Zeros and the vanilla scented bookmarks that you keep telling people we're going to give away that have MXPX CDs attached to their jackets, which they don't.
That's fair.
You're like...
That's fair.
The look on your face is...
That's all fair.
Like,
that's all fair.
Oh, okay.
That's all fair. Well, sometimes messages come through in the middle of a podcast and they make you have that face.
Oh, I
so
see.
I basically looked at something I shouldn't have
I
right
thought
now,
it was
and then
me,
was like,
and it's something else. Okay, that's good. That's
no,
good.
it's not
me.
you.
Woo.
It's not you. It's the world.
It's the world.
So,
okay.
But anyway, it's yeah. So it's all good.
All right.
And we are done, I think. I mean, of course, we advertised for our great podcast channel, Project Nerd, and we have, I guess we didn't mention the Retro Emporium on Meeker Street in Kent, Washington. But
stop on
if you want to find Greg, you can go there.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Dan Jurgens is now coming to SummerCon.
Oh,
so,
boy. So you're going to...
I mean...
Now you're excited. Now you're like, that's one more thing. Dan, Shooter... Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've got obviously I can no longer get Keith Giffen's autograph, which makes me sad. I mean, I've got another Legion creator and Dan Jurgens there. I've got Shooter there. I mean, I've got some classic folks randomly coming to Puyallup, Washington that I didn't think would ever come to Puyallup, Washington.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
It is.
Greg and I will be there a day. I don't know which day that is yet, but we'll be there a day.
Let you know, and if you want to come hang out. Well, that would be kind of cool. I'll.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't mentioned this to Greg yet, but we probably should have like dinner afterwards or something in the area. So if people want to come have dinner with us, they could.
Whoa!
I mean, we're not gonna buy you dinner.
Okay,
but you can come hang out with us.
I mean, you want to make it classic, man. We bring them to the 7-Eleven and hang out in the parking lot like we used to.
I'm not going to the 7-Eleven in Puyallup and hanging out in the parking lot or the AM/PM. That's none of those things are happening.
It's classic, though. It's classic. No, that's a good idea. I like the idea.
What's far enough away from the fairgrounds and is still classic in Puyallup?
There's nothing far enough away and classic.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Let me see if it's still open. That's the question.
Werney is gone.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's not there anymore. So
Catton's gone.
No, that's way too close. I was not talking about that.
But that's been gone for a year. Sad. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
The Rose gone.
I'll figure out something.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. You're not going to think of what I'm thinking about. So
okay, I'm not going to think of what you're thinking about. You want to go to Tiffany's Skate-In?
No, I don't know how long it's open. So just give me a thought. But,
okay.
Yeah.
You want to go to Mitzel's? Cool.
No,
they're gone.
How is it that you've come up literally with every restaurant I'm not thinking of?
and they've all shut down permanently.
No, I know what I'm thinking of too. I know the name. I'm just having fun having you guess and then name things obnoxiously that aren't there.
Ruby Tuesdays.
But this does not look like the same restaurant it used to be. So
I really want to know now.
Oh, it's a cafe. It's a cafe. It's not a cafe. I don't want to go to a cafe.
Whoa.
I want to go to the actual restaurant.
What is it?
But it looks like it's just a cafe now. So
what was it?
Okay. Yeah. Anton's, out by the river.
Oh.
Because that is far enough away from the fairgrounds, but not such a trek people couldn't get to it.
I remember my car got broke down. It broke down over there, and I got stuck.
But I don't think it's open anymore. So.
Oh, we could go to the bowling alley. They got good food.
Dude, I would totally go to the bowling alley after. Yeah. I've not been to the Daffodil Ball in years.
Yeah, it's a spot. It's nice. I like it. It's been years too for me, but it's always a good place.
You know what? I say we make that a freaking plan. We're going to go to SummerCon,
and then
we're going to go to the Daffodil Ball. Is Wayne's Tavern still next to it?
Oh, Wayne's Inn?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do believe it is.
Well, there you go. I mean,
you don't want to go to Bumpy's downtown. Too close.
I was never a Bumpy's fan.
I hear Bumpy's is the spot, though. All the Wayne's kids moved over to Bumpy's.
Well, anyway, we'll have some sort of plan, but just a heads up.
Yeah. Forbidden City.
If you're up here, SummerCon is SummerCon's what, the 21st? It'll either be the 21st or 22nd of June, one of those 2 days that we go out there.
Yeah.
So we will keep you informed. I've got to negotiate with Greg, and more importantly, I need to negotiate with the proprietor of the Retro Emporium in Kent, Washington, on which day we can go.
Which day we can go to the show.
But we will be going for sure.
Yeah,
so
and then,
I'm excited.
And then
And you can come get a sticker from me.
You grand listener can hang out. I say listener. All of a sudden, it would be funny if all of a sudden there's actually like, you know, a handful of people and we're like, oh, wow, awkward.
All right. Well, we should wrap this up. So, for Dan and Greg, this was Funny Book Forensics with the most professional ending we've ever had on this podcast.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. That's it. I'm done. Bye.
Bye. Oh, man. I can only find the button to get out of here. Okay. Yeah, there it is. That's not the button. Okay.